You get to a point in business where you're sort of like a coach watching your team play the game every single day.
As a founder of a business, what do you think are the essential skills that you need to have in order to actually build something and grow something?
Anyone can start a business. It's easy to start a business, but to actually have something successful, you need to give a shit enough to want to be really good at what you do. If you let everything hit you as a business owner, you're going to crumble pretty early.
Time to get fired up. Yeah, I'm getting fired up.
Your thoughts can become plans. Plans can become actions. And actions become a reality. We share powerful stories and simple steps to fast track your business and personal growth. Are you ready to make it happen? Let's get fired up. Jamie's journey from DJ booth to the world of business growth is one of creativity, supported by icons like Testo and Calvin Harris. Jamie transitioned his expertise in marketing, creativity, and self-promotion into founding Defiant. It's a trailblazing agency that bridges creative and performance marketing. Over the past 6 years, Jamie has led Defiant to propel over 300 businesses to success, make 100 strategic hires, and manage tens of millions in ad spend, which has also generated hundreds of millions in revenue. His unique blend of experience and passion for business growth and entrepreneurship make him an invaluable source of insight on scaling ventures from startups to billion-dollar enterprises. Welcome back to the Fired Up podcast. We are here today with a seasoned entrepreneur, Jamie, who's got a very interesting story to share with us and a very successful business as well. So we're keen to kind of dig into some of his insights and knowledge on how you guys can utilize some of his expertise to grow your own business or scale your own business using some of the techniques and tactics which he does and his team do very well. So thanks for joining us today, Jamie. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Ben. Pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So look, on my research, and I think it's pretty obvious when looking through your content, you used to be a DJ. So Tell us how you went from being a DJ on the DJ scene into your business now.
Yeah, so I think in my DJ career, I learned how to run ads pretty much when they were first released on Meta. Like this is way back now. But basically I had to because I was a young artist, wasn't getting much attention for my music. Let's face it, my music wasn't that good at the start, right? Everyone's got to start somewhere, but I was just determined to get my name out there by any means. And I just kept making music, didn't care how good it was, but I just wanted to put it out there to get some feedback and get some reactions and see what can I do next to start creating a loyal fan base. So ads was my sort of go-to. And very early on, I realized, hang on a second, I can pay for attention. I can spend money and get my message, which was my music at the time, out to the masses, out to people that had never heard of me before. And I think I was just so fascinated by that concept. And I guess when I sort of got towards the end of my career, I just thought, what skills do I have? What skills have I acquired from doing DJing, and what can I transfer into another industry? And a few businesses in my network were sort of asking me like, hey, you're a creative guy. Can you do this for me? Help my business. I need some ads. And just one thing kind of led to another. And all of a sudden, the agency was born. So it was a nice transition. And now 6 years later, looking back, working with some of the biggest brands in the world and in Australia, spending millions of dollars a month on ads. Yeah, it's been a fun ride.
Tell us about the business. So you said 6 years ago, business name Defiant?
Defiant Digital.
Defiant Digital. So in a nutshell, like what do you do? What are customers coming to you for help with?
Yeah, so customers come to us to basically throw fuel on the fire of their business. So what I mean by that is you've got a product, people are buying it, but you just need help scaling it. You need help going from where you are to like your dream sort of monthly revenue result or even your exit, right? A lot of brands come to us and they say, hey, we need to grow from where we are here to here with this budget in order to exit for our dream multiple, right? And we help brands with that. We also help a lot of well-funded startups that have the money to really do marketing proper, right? Do it right from the get-go. We're not the best fit for smaller brands with a few $1,000s anymore. We definitely were at the start. At the start, we were working with anyone who would give us money just to be able to get some runs on the board, get some results, build some case studies. But yeah, where we are today, it's a much different beast. So yeah, we're really servicing those brands that have found their product market fit already, just got something that sells, and they just need a team that can go through the gears of creative production and keep up with the amount of creative and just all the performance marketing aspects that you need in order to spend a few $100,000 to $1 million a month on ads.
So there's the creative aspect. So you're looking at their content strategy and going, this is shit or it's great. Hopefully it's shit, because then you can really add value to it. But is that everything from meta advertising to video production to kind of lead generation funnels and conversion? Like, is it end to end?
Correct. End to end. And our big philosophy as an agency, which is slightly different to a lot of typical performance marketing agencies, is we really help brands blend creative and performance together. There's a lot of agencies, you go to them, they'll just make awesome creatives for you. They'll do videos, they'll do whatever. They're a branding agency. They might make nice creative work.
Yep.
They don't understand how to make it perform and how to run a test, iterate it, get the data back, then make more of what is needed next. Then on the other hand, you've got performance marketing agencies who are really good with the numbers. They're good with the platforms. They're good with the tools. They know how to run ads. They know how to identify an issue by using the data, but they just put the creative problem back onto your plate and say, hey, we need more creatives. That was the gap that I saw in the market when I decided to start the agency, and I just attacked it head on. And really the mantra that we have is, we believe as an agency that creative is the most important part and the biggest lever that you can pull in a business, because the reality is you can have the best customer service, the best product, the best email flow, landing page, whatever it is. But if someone can just go straight like that past your ad and scroll straight past it, if you can't capture attention, then nothing else matters. Absolutely nothing else matters. So that's our mantra, and we just optimize everything for that initial starting point. But then, of course, look at the rest of the funnel and make optimizations there as well.
Awesome. So, I think you've raised a good point there. I mean, it's the attention, right? And everybody's competing for attention. And with everybody competing for attention, man, it's noisy. It's so noisy when you're in these environments. And then obviously whatever you're looking at becomes more noisy. I mean, even what you talk about on the weekend with your friends now comes up in your feed and you're like, holy shit, there's just so much clutter. So, and I guess that's where you guys come in and you work through how to cut through that and how to differentiate and how to scale. I guess my question rolling from here is like, what do you see as the biggest mistake that companies are making with their brand and content strategy?
Great question. So a lot of brands, when they think about advertising, because they're so entrenched in their own brand, the natural reaction when you're making an ad is to go out and talk about all the things that you're really good at and that your product is. Like, my product has this feature, it's got that ingredient, it's got this ingredient, we're eco-friendly, that kind of thing. The thing is, all of that stuff's well and good, but the reality is when people are scrolling so fast through their feeds, they've got to filter and they very quickly need to understand what's in it for them. What's in it for them? Like, the ingredient that's in your supplement is in the product, yes, but what's actually in it for the customer? What problem are you solving? How is this going to benefit them? And why should they stop and pay attention to you? Okay. And this is what we say when we bring a lot of brands on board. It's one of the changes that we make instantly is we actually remove all of the branding. We strip their ads back to what we call like ugly ads or native style ads. Ads that don't even feel like an ad. They feel like a TikTok or an Instagram or something like that. But it's just the person who's on camera is matching the demographic perfectly. It's like an exact spitting image of who their ideal customer is. They genuinely have the problem that the audience has. They're genuinely talking about how this product here has solved their problem. And it's not coming from the brand, the brand tone and the brand messaging, coming from a true user, right? That is one of the best places to start changing the way you're thinking about marketing. Now, that's not to say that brand should just go out the window and you should just neglect your brand. Absolutely not. But if you're a brand that's struggling with performance with your ads, look at your ads library. If everything has your logo on it, if everything's talking about we're the best, blah, 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 and this is everything that all the features that we have, and it's not talking about problems and benefits that your audience has, that's one of the biggest mistakes that we see, one of the biggest levers to improve things.
Can you give us an example of a company
that really sucks with their marketing, and then an example of a company that does what you just mentioned really well?
Look, the ones that suck aren't as memorable, to be honest with you. But what I can definitely say is there's been a lot of clients that have come on board with us that at the time their marketing was not good, right? Again, it was exactly what I was saying. If they were just talking about their features and their ingredients of their supplements. A company that's doing it really well, and there's so many. There's a brand called Obvi in the supplement space, seeing as we're talking about supplements. A brand called Obvi that deals with all sorts of different things. They sell collagen, they sell things like that. They just do performance marketing really well. And no matter what brand you are, even if you're a service-based business, even if you're not in the supplement space at all, just looking at the way that they approach their marketing and really sort of funnel hacking their ads, you can get so much inspiration. And that's to be honest with most brands that do it really well. Be a fan of ads. And I know that that's weird because all of us hate ads. Right. Even my little niece, she's 2 years old. Like, she gets the shits when an ad comes onto YouTube.
Yeah.
We're just inherently programmed to hate ads. But when you're in marketing and you're trying to get better results here, you have to become a fan of ads. You have to be looking at ads with a lens of how can I take that, even if it's a completely different industry to me, and use it in my business. What are they doing well?
And the business has obviously grown significantly over that time. You guys are becoming a serious player in the space and attracting the right brands, the right businesses, and providing great results, which obviously in turn creates more excitement for other people looking to come into it. What it takes to actually build a business, because I know anybody who's built a business of any substance knows that it's not easy, and there's a couple of things that really need to drive that. So my first question to you is, like, as a founder of a business, what do you think are the essential skills that you need to have in order to actually build something and grow something? Like, even if you can speak from previous experience of where you found yourself falling short and then what you did to compensate that.
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing is resilience. And, for me, it's defiance. Like, the reason that I called Defiant that name was just because I felt like it's such a powerful word. And in business, you need that attitude. You just need to be able to let things fly over your head, because if you let everything hit you as a business owner, you're going to crumble pretty early. Even still to this day, every single day is like a roller coaster. Like, one moment we'll be celebrating the biggest win ever, or just run $1 billion company. And then minutes later, there'll be the biggest fire that you need to put out. And that does not change as you go through business. I always used to think, when I get to this point in the business, I'm just going to cruise there. Like, everything's just going to be cool, and we're just going to cruise, and it's going to be nice, and I've hit my goal. But in reality, what happens is you get there, and then the next milestone is even bigger, and you're dealing with a whole set of new range of problems. So yeah, I think resilience, just being thick-skinned, and just realizing at the end of the day, like, the way I like to cope with it is, we're not doing brain surgery here. We're not saving lives, right? No one's going to die. It's okay. Like, we're getting paid to solve problems. That's what I tell my team. When there's a problem, understand that you have a job because that thing that we're trying to do is really hard. It's hard. That's why this person's paying us to do it. If it was easy, they'd do it themselves. What comes with that is problems, solving problems, and just having that grit to get through it. So yeah, I'd say that's probably the biggest one. But another thing is just actually wanting to be the best at what you do, I think, is a big thing about being successful in business. Anyone can start a business. It's easy to start a business, but to actually have something successful, you need to give a shit enough to want to be really good at what you do. And the way we approach this internally is we have what's called models of excellence. So, and that goes throughout every single part of the business. So I'll take it right down to even creating an ad. Whenever we create an ad, we look at who's the best in this industry. Again, if we're in the automotive industry, who's doing ads the best in that industry? Okay, great. That's the benchmark. That is the model of excellence that we need to strive to do better than that. And that's just a great philosophy, no matter what you do, even when you're building your agency. When I built my agency, I looked at all of the top agencies out there that were doing it, and I said, this is their websites. We need to level that up. So yeah, those are a couple of things that have really served me well.
It's important, right? Because I think when people are thinking about a business, they think it's going to be hard for a couple of years, and then I'll just be on the golf course cruising and making a ton of money, which is just not the case. The wins get bigger, but so do the problems.
Yeah.
And I think having that resilience and the thick skin, and that is also a beauty of running a business, right? Because now you can it's not that you can choose the battles, but when you're in a job, you this is what you have to do, and this is what you will do for the client. But when you're running a business, you can go, do you know what? I don't actually want to work with that client.
Yeah.
They're not a right fit, so we're not going to do that. We are going to change this color. We are going to change this price. We are going to change the direction. Having the ability to make quick decisions and decisions for yourself to the direction that you want to take the business in is one of the biggest benefits of running a business, in my opinion.
It's so funny you say that, because just before this podcast, I was in a meeting with my leadership team, and we were literally looking at the pipeline that we had in the business, the brands that want to join with us. And rather than just saying, yeah, let's just take on all these new clients, what we did first was we looked at who are the clients we want to shed, who are the clients that we don't want to work with right now because they're not listening, they're causing problems, they're dragging the team's morale down. And to be honest, I was kind of sitting back watching the team have this conversation, and you are so right. It's actually fun. You get to a point in business where you're sort of like a coach watching your team play the game every single day. That's something that if I could tell myself 3 years ago, when I was every other day thinking about giving up and folding the whole business and why am I doing this? This is too stressful. If I could show myself what it's like now after going through a bit of that grind, I think so many business owners should understand that you can get to that place. You're still going to have to solve problems every day, but eventually over time, you're going to get better and better at it. You're going to hire better people. And then you're going to be that sort of coach that's sitting there watching your team play the game and a beautiful game every day if you hire the right people. So yeah, things definitely change, and it's so cool to see over time and even just look back and think about all the different phases that we went through,
I saw something recently, which like on that sports team analogy, which is if the team fails and the team is losing game after game after game, what do? They don't fire the team, they fire the coach. And they bring in a new coach to rearrange the tactics, rearrange the players, rearrange the strategy. So when you are running the business, I guess you are the coach and you can't be fired. So everything is in your control for that. And you mentioned, the team and your leadership team. Talk to us about how important it is to have the right people in your business in the right roles, and maybe lead us into your business a bit. What is your structure like and how does it work?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. That is, look, for a business like mine, which people are our product, literally. We don't have a physical product that we ship out to people. People are our product. Our team, our processes are our product. So for us, it's crucial. It's everything. It's literally everything, having the right people in the right seats. But more importantly, the leadership team. Again, as you grow in your business, you start off by wearing every single hat. And you start hiring some experts, you still have to wear a lot of hats, you still got to manage a lot of people, a lot of direct reports in that sort of middle phase. Then eventually you have your leadership team. And for us now, what that looks like is I have maybe 4 or 5 direct reports, and underneath them, they have their teams. That was so hard to get to that. Incredibly hard to get to that point. And a lot of risk and a lot of taking punts on expensive hires and leaders that we've never had and all this kind of thing. And also very hard for me as a founder who likes to be involved in everything to delegate. I really had to learn that, just hire these experts that know more than you and just get out of their way and support them. Shit, that took a while. Yeah, basically that's the beautiful part. And that really allows you to then start focusing on the things that only you can do as a founder. Only I can hop on this podcast with you now and talk about Defiant's journey with the conviction that I talk about it and tell the story, right? No one else on my team can do that for me. That's the natural progression. And don't be so quick to rush into that as well. Let it happen naturally at the right time, but aim for that, because that's for me when the business became fun to work on. Really fun.
My clients and my community sometimes come to us saying the question, and you raised this before, but that question number one, when it comes to hiring staff, shall I outsource? Mm-hmm. Shall I get some people and some support from overseas because of the cost to entry and the skills are there and the accessibility is there? Shall I get an office? Shall I get some people? Shall I contract? Shall I go remote? Knowing exactly how your structure is. But one thing you mentioned off camera was that you do have a remote structure, which some people in your space might go, oh, that's not going to work. Tell us how it works for you and why you've gone down that path.
Yeah, so obviously everyone was forced to go remote during COVID. We actually had an office when COVID hit. We were still very young, still very early as a company, but We had an office, everyone was there. As soon as COVID hit, we had to go remote. So I started running ads because we needed staff. We were growing. And what I very quickly realized from the first ad remote that I ran was, geez, there's talented people all over Australia, everywhere. Like even in remote parts of Australia that you'd never even think of, there are super talented people out there all over the country. And I sat back for a second and said, right now my talent pool is just people who want to travel to the city into our office every day. My talent pool is like this. It's like a tiny little margin of people. And every single other agency that's in that place, we're all competing and fighting for the same people. At the time, it's a young company. I didn't have the money to spend to compete with the big agencies out there. So going remote for us was a strategic move to obviously cut down on overheads, not have to travel into the city, all that kind of thing. But more importantly, to open up our talent pool to Australia-wide and eventually the worldwide. And that's just been a phenomenal decision for us, and it's worked for us. Obviously, you can't replicate that face-to-face interaction every single day, but there are so many ways that you can do it with Slack and with video calls and different initiatives. And yeah, for us, it's just worked so well. Rather than spending all this money on expensive offices, we spend it on talent. We have the best talent in the country. So yeah, it's been a game changer.
Yeah. So I think for anyone watching this, it's good advice, right? It's about putting your money where you get the most value from it. And if you're putting money into car parking, buildings, office chairs, all the stuff that you need for the infrastructure and office space, think about how you could actually use that for the talent. And when you take your talent pool from being a geographical limitation to being a worldwide platform, you can now get some really high-end skill and high-end people at a fraction of the cost, which means you can actually double down on that. I'm a massive advocate for the Philippines because I've spent a decade there dealing with people. So I use them a lot, and they've got great teams and great relationships with those people doing those things. There's some stuff you can't outsource, right? Like I can't outsource my lawn mowing. I actually literally need to have someone locally here who can do that. But, There's a good book, Dan Martell, called Buy Back Your Time. One of the best books that I've read so that you can actually put your time and energy to where the value is created, which you've explained very well. Just quickly, one last question for you. A lot of my community listening to this, early stage business, it's a sideline hustle or they're actually just getting started. What would you say to that person who's trying to grab attention with their marketing, but don't have a huge budget to do so? Probably not your ideal customer, but no doubt you've got some good insight there for when it was that small.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, you don't need a lot of budget to get attention. Thankfully, with the algorithms, especially TikTok these days, even Reels, right? A little bit of creativity goes a long way to you actually going viral. And there's so many cases of this. Like I've seen on TikTok, like to your point about lawn mowing, like there's a guy on TikTok that he does not spend a cent on ads, but he just goes through and he's got a personality. He rocks up to their house. He's got that energy, and then he turns like disgusting backyard into this beautiful masterpiece. And it's going crazy. It's going nuts on TikTok because it's that visual transformation and it's engaging, right? It's like soothing to watch that transformation, right? I forgot what the word is, but that's a beautiful example of how to capture attention without using money to force it onto people with your ads. And basically, like I was saying before, choose a model of excellence. Even if it's not in your field, that lawn mowing guy could be the perfect model of excellence for a painting business, okay? It could be a perfect model of excellence for a hairdresser, a barber who's doing transformations on someone's head. There's so many different ways you can extrapolate it. Models of excellence, choose one, follow it, get creative, and creativity will take you so far. And it's the most important thing to focus on when you're trying to really scale your exposure and get attention.
Awesome. Jamie, thanks for your time. Love your work. If people want to find you, follow you, what's the best place to do that?
Yeah, so just my name, Jamie Kritharas, on Instagram and TikTok. You might need it's a bit of a tongue twister. You might need to put that one up in your notes. But other than that, our website is just defiantdigital.com.au. So check us out. If you ever need a hand, let me know, and always happy to talk about business. I'm a true fan of entrepreneurship.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Stick around for up and coming episodes. We've got some great business owners coming up in the following episodes to talk about their journey as well. But thanks again, Jamie. Appreciate your time. Love your work, and go check out Defiant Digital and see what they're all about.
Thanks for having me, Ben.
Catch you later.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
See ya.
If you've enjoyed this episode, then subscribe on YouTube or follow our podcast on your favorite platform. We drop a new episode every week. You'll be doing us a massive favor. If you know someone that would benefit from listening to this, then share it with them. You'll be doing them a massive favor. And if you want the tips, tools, and resources to support you on this journey, then join our exclusive Facebook community and follow our socials. You'll be doing yourself a massive favor.